This is the camera comparison video of Google Pixel 6 versus iPhone 14 Pro. Hi everyone, this is JD, your gadget review friend. Welcome back to GadgetRevNow. I know Pixel 7 and Pixel 7 Pro will be released next month, and it will be a highly anticipated battle between the newest iPhone and the Pixel. We will compare them. But today we'll compare the current Pixel 6 versus the newest iPhone 14 Pro. The Google Pixel 6 was released October of last year with a dual camera system rocking the 50 megapixel main. While the iPhone 14 Pro is the latest iPhone and is rocking the triple camera setup with a new 48 megapixel main and all new sensors for better low light. We know that Pixel 6 is the champ of night shot, but can the newer iPhone 14 Pro beat it? This will be a fun and great battle. Let's begin. Hi everyone, good morning. This is an early vlog for me. iPhone 14 Pro versus Google Pixel 6. The iPhone 14 Pro can shoot 4K, 24, 60, and 120 FPS, while Google Pixel 6 can only shoot 1080p. We're starting with the audio test, and we're here outside near the road, so you can hear all the background noise. Check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. This is the audio that's coming out of Pixel 6. And check 1, 2, 3, check 1, 2, 3. This is the audio that's coming out of iPhone 14 Pro. Let's start with the audio test, and this is subjective. To begin with, I love the iPhone 14 Pro's loudness. It is clear and crisp. But Pixel 6 has noise cancellation. If you're vlogging in a quiet environment, go with iPhone 14 Pro. A noisier place, go with Pixel 6. Let's begin with the color profile or saturation. In this whole test, I see patterns in terms of colors. Google Pixel 6 is generally brighter and softer compared to the newer iPhone 14 Pro. It has this HDR look. There's minimal dark areas. Shadows are minimal to no existence. It's a typical software manipulation of Google. It's not based on hardware. While the new iPhone 14 Pro resembles the look of last year's iPhone 13 Pro, but I should say better. It is more saturated, inviting, and a lot of people will prefer the look of it posting on social media like Instagram or Snapchat. I noticed stronger contrast too. Basically, every image will pop out, especially the reds. This is a personal preference. Next, let us flex the new cinematic 24 FPS of iPhone 14 Pro. This is using the selfie camera. For anyone using a proper camera, the iPhone 14 Pro can now mimic cinematic video using the selfie and the rear camera. Let's flip to the rear camera and check the regular 4K at 30 FPS of Pixel 6. It can also record at a smoother 60 FPS. The active stabilization is punching in the video a little bit. While the iPhone 14 Pro has great stabilization even without punching in, similar looking as Pixel 6 without much difference really. It also has the active mode that again eliminates the need of GoPro or action cameras. One phone to rule them all. This is how 4K 30 FPS looks like in cinematic. Next is flaring in both main and ultra-wide. Pixel 6 has stronger flaring, while we cannot check the optical zoom because there's none for Pixel 6. Next, we want to check who manages the highlights better, and here there's not much of a difference, but on this shot, if we zoom in outside the window, Pixel 6 manages it better. Next is exposure, and again, because of Google's computational photography, it exposes the subject better. And the same thing can be said on dynamic range. Google Pixel 6 has great dynamic range. Now let's talk about the ultra-wide video. Again, Pixel 6 nailed the stabilization, but a little punched in. While for iPhone 14 Pro, it is wider and as good as Pixel 6 stabilization, it also offers cinematic 4K on the ultra-wide end. This is the new cinematic selfie of iPhone 14 Pro, f2 4K at 30 FPS. If you like this type of camera comparison video, don't forget to subscribe. Next is close focus, and if you just use the main sensor, Pixel 6 is closer, but iPhone 14 Pro offers macro mode on the ultra-wide lens. It loses the background blur, but you can shoot really close. Next is text sharpness, and when comparing the main and ultra-wide, on the main sensor, it's no longer an issue because it's already 1 year. Pixel 6 has a characteristic of fringing. If you look on the side of the images, it's a little blur. On the ultra-wide, if you zoom in, you will notice that iPhone 14 Pro is sharper. Next is the slow motion test, and this is the regular speed. This is the slow motion 120 FPS. And this is the super slow-mo 240 FPS. Of course, we are not leaving the cinematic 4K 30 FPS on 3x optical zoom of the iPhone 14 Pro. Next is details, and if you watch this on a bigger screen, you will notice that if we zoom in, Pixel 6 has more details compared to iPhone 14 Pro. Next is portrait mode with a human subject, and here you can see those little adjustments of Apple. Let's start with the field of view. It is wider on Pixel 6. But on top of the fire hydrant, it is still visible on Pixel 6. The way the real portrait lens works is it has gradual bokeh, and iPhone 14 Pro mimics it better. Same with this photo, look at the blue handle on the iPhone 14 Pro. Next is selfie video recording, and Pixel 6 can only shoot 1080p, but it's good though. While iPhone 14 Pro can shoot 4K and also cinematic 4K. Next is portrait mode, and this is a bit of a debate on my part. I get it. I get the point of the two manufacturers. Google is more pleasing and eye candy, the background blur is stronger, and the complexion is smoother. FOB is also wider. On the iPhone 14 Pro, it is more realistic. Well, let's say the f-stop is smaller, the background blur is busier, and the skin has more details. Again, this is a personal preference. We reached the most exciting part, the night shot. We have a new winner. iPhone 14 Pro has more contrast and more details on the images. I should say it is brighter too, and the night shot looks the same on all three sensors. On the selfie low light, iPhone 14 Pro is less noisier and brighter. And same with the rear low light, mile ahead better than Pixel 6. And lastly, versatility. Both has wide and ultra-wide lens with 2x digital crop, but only iPhone 14 Pro has 3x optical zoom and macro mode. So what is GadgetRevNow's verdict? Google Pixel 6 or Apple iPhone 14 Pro? 1 year gap, and there's a significant and exciting upgrade from the newer iPhone. Let's do a recap. The Google Pixel 6 has great noise cancellation, brighter image, manages the highlights better, better exposure, better dynamic range, more detailed, better bokeh on portrait, and wider field of view on portrait. While the iPhone 14 Pro has louder audio, more saturated photos, cinematic 24 and 30 FPS, it has active mode, manage the flaring better, macro mode, the texts are sharper, better subject separation on portrait, 4K selfie video, better night shot, better low light video, and 3x optical zoom. There are lots of things that makes the iPhone 14 Pro better: the cinematic 24 FPS video, the active and macro mode, and better low light. There's a new champ, can't wait for Google Pixel 7 Pro, but for now, the iPhone 14 Pro is superior. And there you go, hope you enjoyed this video. I'll continue to compare these two phones in our channel, so stay tuned. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.